all of this. Before we get rolling, I want to read something from John chapter 10, verse 1 through 3. Verily, verily, I say unto you, he that entereth not by the door into the sheepfold, but climbeth up some other way, the same is a thief and a robber. Now, when you look at that, you'd say, well, what in the world does that mean? Well, there are two ways that people get into become members of the church. One is via conversion. And what has happened is conversion is now being called regeneration. But even their own theological experts, or at least several of them, have already warned the church that's not true, that there is a big difference between converting and actual regeneration. So anyway, if you're converted, you have not come in by the door. You have climbed up some other way because you are now in the sheepfold, but you bypass something, and I've talked about it before. Number two, he that entereth in by the door is the shepherd of the sheep. Who's the door? Jesus Christ said he was the door. So you have to come through the door via the straight gate, narrow way. This is how all this ties together. And to him, the porter openeth, and the sheep hear his voice, and he calleth his own sheep by name, and leadeth them out of what? The matrix. He leads you out of the matrix. And I can vouch for that. I not only heard his voice, he called me by name and led me out. I just wanted to always like to start off with Scripture, and particularly tonight, because of what's going on. It appears as though the elite have elected to start their culling operation. There's just too many things going on, especially in the United States, which appears to be a primary target of, how do I say, CDC missteps. Really kind of weird missteps, like they are deliberate missteps to spread the virus even further. I'd say that, but you can't trust anything, any government, anywhere on the world, according to Jesus Christ. You can't trust them. They're going to lie to you. They are controlled by Satan. They may not like that. Doesn't matter if they like it. Reality is what reality is, and because they will not do what Jesus Christ had to say, they will not enter in, they will not ask, seek, knock, strive, and labor, so they don't ever meet Jesus Christ face to face, which, of course, you're supposed to do. And when you do, like the book of the Coburn says, then you know what the secret of all life is. You know what the secret thing is all about. And but people, particularly the Christians, they bought into this faith gospel. You find it everywhere on the web. Say a simple prayer, you're in home free. It's a lie. It's a tragic lie because it'll take you to ruin if you believe it. And Jesus warned you about it. He said they were coming. He also said that if you mentioned the straight gate or the narrow way, that you would be ridiculed, mocked, maligned, and all but destroyed because they rail against the way of the truth. They will not tolerate it, and their followers will not tolerate because they have itching ears, and they've turned their ears away from the real truth, and they've turned them onto fables. What's the fable? Fake salvation. It leads millions of Christians into eternal ruin. That's what Matthew chapter 7 is trying to tell you when Jesus says, I don't know who you are. Who in the world are you? Well, didn't we do miracles? Didn't we perform miracles? Didn't we cast out demons in your name? Didn't we teach in your streets? Didn't we do this? Didn't we do that? And he looks at them and he says, I don't know who you are. Get away from me. I don't know who you are. And it's just sad. But anyway, I don't want to spend a lot of time on that. I've warned people for the last 30 years, and it's all I can do. I'm getting ready to go home now, so, it's just the way it is. Anyway, so you can take, if you read chapter 10 of John, you get a whole you get a whole lesson on salvation. But anyway, I wanted to say this: yea, hath God said. He did not mean for you to enter in at any straight gate. He did not mean for you to pick up your own cross. He could not have meant for you to meet him, or for you to hear his voice, or that he would call you by name, or that he would lead you out of the matrix. What in the world is a matrix? So theology of today's modern salvation thought is a lie. It's a total lie, just as Jesus Christ himself told you it was. Yes, in fact, he did mean it. And why Jesus Christ picked me to do what I'm doing, I have not the slightest idea. I'm just doing what he told me to do. And I've warned everyone. Your blood and the Illuminati blood, the rich men of the earth blood, not on my hands, because I've told them all. And I'm going to keep repeating it until I am silenced by the Lord himself. I tell you what, folks, this is all too real. The end of this thing is coming rapidly now. Things are all starting to come together.